The moment you give a manipulative person your trust, you have already handed them the blueprint to your weakness. Picture it. Someone enters your life. They're charming, attentive. They seem to understand you in ways others don't. They make you feel seen, special, chosen. You feel it, that warmth in your chest, that relief of finally being understood. Your guard drops, your walls come down. You start sharing things you don't normally share. And in that exact moment, you have given them the map to your fortress. Because manipulation is not what you think it is. It's not the obvious villain twirling a mustache. It's not the loud aggressor making threats. Those people are easy to spot, easy to defend against. Real manipulation is slow, surgical, invisible. It's the person who makes you question your own reality. The one who has you apologizing for things you didn't do. The one who somehow always ends up the victim in every story, while you're left feeling guilty for existing. The samurai understood something that modern psychology is only now confirming. The greatest defense against manipulation is not strength, it is awareness. You cannot fight what you cannot see. But once you see the patterns, once you recognize the 12 habits that every manipulative person shares, you become untouchable. Not because you manipulate back, but because you no longer participate in their game. So why do you fall for it? Why, when someone uses these tactics, do you find yourself complying, apologizing, or doubting yourself? It starts in childhood, not because you were weak, but because you were adaptable. If you grew up in a household where love was conditional, where affection came with strings attached, where you had to earn acceptance by being good enough, you learned to read people for survival. You became a student of moods. You learned to detect when someone was about to get angry before they showed it. You learned to predict what they wanted before they asked. You learned to become what they needed so you could stay safe. This made you empathetic, intuitive, attuned to others' emotions. It also made you vulnerable, because manipulative people have a radar for empaths. They can smell emotional attunement from a mile away. Where a healthy person sees your empathy as a gift, a manipulative person sees it as an access point. They study you. They learn what you need: validation, understanding, stability, excitement, and they provide it. Not because they care, but because it gives them leverage. And here's the trap. You think they're being generous. You think you've found someone who finally gets you. You feel guilty for suspecting them. You tell yourself, I'm being paranoid. They're just being nice. This is how it starts. The samurai called this Mianai Kogeki, the invisible attack. The strike you don't see coming because it's wrapped in kindness. In Bushido, warriors train to recognize patterns of deception, not to become paranoid, but to become discerning. There is a difference between trusting everyone and trusting wisely. Your childhood taught you to be hypervigilant to others' needs, but no one taught you to be vigilant about protecting your own center. You learned to watch them. You never learned to watch for them, until now. The first step to becoming unmanipulatable is to realize that manipulation only works when you believe you need something from them. Manipulators trade in scarcity. They make you feel like what they offer, approval, love, stability, understanding, is rare, special, something you couldn't possibly find elsewhere. This is the lie. The samurai practiced Jiriki, self-power, the ability to generate your own worth internally, not extract it from external sources. When you are centered in Jiriki, manipulation loses its fuel, because manipulation requires your participation. It requires you to seek their approval, fear their rejection, need their validation, doubt your own perception. But when you are self-contained, when your peace does not depend on their opinion, when your worth is not up for negotiation, their tactics become irrelevant. Like trying to drown a fish, like trying to burn water. This is what the samurai called metsuke, correct vision. The ability to see tactics without being emotionally moved by them. You're not ignoring the manipulation. You're observing it with the same interest a biologist observes a specimen under glass. Fascinating, predictable, but unable to touch you. In practice, this means you stop asking, "Why are they doing this to me?" You start observing, habit number 7, classic manipulation pattern. That shift from victim to observer changes everything. This is not about becoming cold. This is about becoming clear enough to see the hooks before they catch you. These are the 12 habits every manipulative person shares, not opinions, not theories. Documented patterns from psychology research and ancient warrior wisdom combined. Habit 1, love bombing followed by withdrawal. They shower you with excessive attention, affection, and validation at the beginning. Texts all day. "I've never met anyone like you. You're so different from everyone else." This creates an addiction. Your brain gets used to the flood. Then they withdraw, suddenly, without explanation. Now you're panicking. What did I do wrong? You start performing for their attention. You become smaller, more accommodating, desperate to get the flood back. This is the hook. They've trained you to associate your emotional stability with their presence. The samurai's response: recognize intensity without foundation. True connection builds slowly, like bamboo roots, strong because it takes time. Habit 2, manufacturing guilt for boundaries. Every time you set a boundary, they make you feel guilty for having needs. "I can't believe you'd say that after everything I've done for you. You're so selfish, I guess I'm just not important to you. Fine, I'll just leave you alone then." Said to make you retract the boundary. They weaponize your empathy. They know you hate seeing people hurt, so they perform pain to make you abandon your limits. The samurai's response: your boundaries are not aggression. They are fortress walls. Walls protect what matters. Anyone who needs you to remove your protection is not safe. Habit 3, playing the victim in every story. Listen to their stories. In every narrative, they are the innocent victim. Their ex was crazy. Their former friend betrayed them. Their boss had it out for them. One toxic relationship? That happens. 5 toxic relationships where everyone else was the problem? That's not bad luck. That's a pattern. They refuse accountability. They rewrite history to absolve themselves. And they're testing if you'll believe their version over reality. The samurai's response: when someone has only enemies and no accountability, you're looking at the next person they'll rewrite as the villain when you set boundaries. Habit 4, emotional blackmail through self-harm threats. "If you leave me, I'll hurt myself. You're the only thing keeping me alive. I can't go on without you. This is not love. This is hostage taking." They make their mental health your responsibility. They imply that your choices control their actions. This traps you in fear. The samurai's response: you are not responsible for stabilizing someone who refuses to stabilize themselves. Compassion does not mean captivity. Alert proper help, then protect your center. Habit 5, gaslighting your reality. "I never said that." You're remembering it wrong. That's not what happened. You're being crazy. You're too sensitive. It was just a joke. Gaslighting makes you doubt your own perception. Over time, you stop trusting yourself. You defer to their version of reality because yours feels unreliable. The samurai's response: trust your observations, document patterns. A warrior trusts his senses. If your gut says something is wrong, your gut is receiving data your mind hasn't processed yet. Habit 6, triangulation using third parties. They create jealousy and competition by involving third parties. "Well, Sarah doesn't have a problem with this. My ex would have understood." Other people think you're overreacting. Notice, these other people are never named. You can't verify. But now you're competing with ghosts for approval. The samurai's response: truth doesn't need a crowd. If they're recruiting others to their narrative instead of addressing you directly, they're building a mob, not seeking resolution. Habit 7, moving goalposts. You meet their requirement. They add a new one. You, I did what you asked. Them, yes, but you should have done it differently. You apologize. They say you didn't apologize correctly, you change. They say you didn't change enough. This creates perpetual inadequacy. You can never be good enough because the standard changes to keep you performing. The samurai's response. A warrior knows when the battle is unwinnable because the opponent keeps changing the victory conditions. This isn't about your performance, it's about their control. Habit 8, intermittent reinforcement. They're amazing, then cold, then amazing, then absent, then perfect, then cruel. This is the most addictive pattern in psychology. Unpredictable rewards create stronger addiction than consistent ones. You never know which version you're getting, so you're always hoping for the good version. You stay because of the memory of how good it can be. The samurai's response. Consistency is the mark of integrity. Chaos is the mark of manipulation. A warrior does not build his life on unstable ground. Habit 9, isolating you from support systems. Slowly, subtly, they create distance between you and others. Your friends don't really understand you like I do. Your family is too controlling. They're just jealous of what we have. They criticize anyone close to you. They create conflict. They make spending time with others so uncomfortable that you stop trying. Now you're isolated. And isolated people are easier to control because they have no outside perspective to reality check the manipulation. The samurai's response. A warrior maintains alliances. Anyone who demands you cut all ties to maintain the relationship is building a prison, not a partnership. Habit 10, public praise, private degradation. In public, she's amazing, I'm so lucky. In private, you're worthless. No one else would put up with you. This creates cognitive dissonance. You can't reconcile the two versions. When you try to tell others, they say, but he speaks so highly of you. The public praise serves two purposes. Makes you doubt your private experience, makes others doubt you if you expose the private cruelty. The samurai's response. Judge people by their private character, not their public performance. A warrior is the same behind closed doors as in the light. Habit 11, taking credit, deflecting blame. When things go well, we did it, implying their leadership. When things fail, you messed up, removing their involvement. They rewrite history. Your achievements become team efforts they led. Their failures become your mistakes. The samurai's response. Keep records. Document contributions. A warrior knows the difference between collaboration and exploitation. Your work speaks louder than their claims. Habit 12. Future faking. And when things settle down, I'm going to change, I promise. Next month, we'll finally... Just give me more time then. They sell you a future that never comes. They keep you invested with promises of change, growth, or commitment that perpetually stays just around the corner. Meanwhile, the present is painful, but you stay because you're investing in the promised future. This is how they buy time. This is how they keep you hoping. This is how they prevent you from leaving. The samurai's response. Judge by present actions, not future promises. A warrior plants trees that will grow, not seeds on stone. Now for the uncomfortable part. Before you label everyone around you as manipulative, look inward. Have you ever used guilt to get your way? Have you ever played victim to avoid accountability? Have you ever withheld affection to punish someone? Have you ever twisted facts to make yourself look better? The difference between you and a habitual manipulator is not that they do these things and you don't. It's that they do them systematically, without remorse, and as a primary mode of relating. You might manipulate occasionally when afraid or hurt. A manipulative person manipulates as a lifestyle. But here's why this shadow work matters. If you don't acknowledge your own capacity for manipulation, you'll either become what you hate while telling yourself you're different. Develop paranoia where you see manipulation in everyone. The samurai practiced Naikan, self-reflection, not to indulge guilt, but to maintain honest awareness. When you know you're capable of small manipulations, you become humble. You recognize the patterns more quickly because you understand the impulse. You cannot be manipulated by tactics you've caught yourself using. This is the paradox. The more you accept your own capacity for manipulation, the harder you become to manipulate, because you're no longer defending an illusion of your own purity. You're just aware, and awareness is the ultimate defense. Here is your challenge. For the next 7 days, you are going to practice the awareness protocol. Rule 1, pattern recognition. Carry a small notebook or use your phone. Every time you notice one of the 12 habits in others or in yourself, write it down. Don't judge it, don't react to it, just observe and record. Habit number 5, gaslighting. Coworker denied saying what I heard clearly. Habit number 2, made partner feel guilty for going out with friends. This builds metsuke, correct vision. You're training your awareness. Rule 2, the boundary test. Set one small boundary with someone each day. Watch their reaction. Healthy people respect boundaries. They might be disappointed, but they respect them. Manipulative people punish boundaries. They guilt, they pout, they retaliate. They make you regret having needs. The boundary isn't the point. The reaction reveals character. Rule 3, the energy audit. Each night, ask yourself, who drains my energy consistently? Who makes me doubt myself? Who do I feel anxious to please? Who makes me feel guilty for existing? Then ask the opposite. Who energizes me? Who makes me feel stable? Who accepts my boundaries? Who celebrates my growth? If someone consistently appears in the first list and never in the second, you have your answer. This isn't about cutting people off impulsively. This is about seeing clearly so you can choose wisely. You're reclaiming your discernment. You're learning to trust your observations again. The world is full of people who will try to pull your strings. They will love bomb. They will guilt. They will gaslight. They will make promises that evaporate. Let them, because now you see the patterns. Now you recognize the game. Now you understand that their tactics only work on someone who needs something from them, and you need nothing from someone who offers connection through control. If this philosophy resonates with the part of you that is tired of being used, tired of questioning your own reality, tired of walking on eggshells around people who should respect you, then subscribe to Vantarchive. Subscribe because you are done being anyone's puppet. In a world that demands sovereign individuals, you are becoming untouchable, not through manipulation, through awareness.